Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Hollyoaks' Diane Hutchinson has told a major lie to Tony after drama with Ro in the show's latest episode. Diane is struggling to come to terms with her ex-husband Tony's new relationship with Marie. She told the couple to go on a date, but secretly she was devastated. In today's episode, Tony was jubilant as he got ready for his date. Ro wasn't impressed by his dad's relationship, and Diane tried to keep the peace between them. At school, Kathleen Angel spoke to Ro and Arlo about their parents going on a date. Arlo revealed that he had brought wine to school, and Ro agreed to drink it with him. Tony and Marie arrived at Casa McQueen for a meal, and they spoke about taking their relationship to the next level now that Tony is divorced. They escaped to the bathroom to liven things up, but in amusing scenes, Tony was left in a compromising position in front of a confused Freddie. Meanwhile at school, John Paul wasn't impressed when Arlo made some transphobic comments in class at Ro's expense. Arlo was asked to leave, but he made sure to first tell John Paul that Ro had fallen asleep. When John Paul attempted to wake Ro up, he discovered the bottle of wine in his bag. Back at Marie's house, Tony made it clear that he wanted their relationship to work. He put his phone on silent, missing a number of calls from Diane. He later realized that Diane had been trying to get hold of him, and he rushed off to respond to the emergency. Diane and Ro returned home from a meeting at school about Ro's drinking, and Diane was furious that her son had been suspended for a week. Tony then arrived home to see Diane clutching the bottle of wine, and he assumed that his ex-wife had relapsed. As he hugged her, Diane decided not to correct him, saying, "I really tried." How long will Diane keep up this lie for, and will Tony discover the truth? Title: The Secret She Buried Diane Hutchinson paced back and forth in her living room, wringing her hands. She had always prided herself on being a good person, a model citizen in the village of Hollyoaks. But now, she was tangled in a web of lies she didn't know how to escape. The events of the past few weeks had weighed heavily on her, pushing her to make choices she could never have imagined. It had all started innocently enough. Her stepson, Beau, had been hanging around with a new friend, Theo, a young man whose troubles ran deeper than his carefree exterior suggested. Diane had never liked Theo, sensing something dangerous beneath his friendly smile. But when Theo was accused of a theft from the local charity shop, Beau had immediately defended him, insisting that Theo was innocent. Diane had wanted to believe him, but as the rumors started swirling around the village, she feared what would happen if Beau got mixed up in the wrong crowd and suffered because of Theo's mistakes. She couldn't let him face the harsh judgment of Hollyoaks if there was any chance he might be involved, even by association. One night, as Diane walked past Price Slice, she saw her chance to intervene. The shop's CCTV footage had been flagged as potential evidence against Theo, but it hadn't yet been reviewed. She slipped inside, convincing herself she was only trying to protect Beau. Quietly, she accessed the system, deleting a few critical minutes of footage that could have implicated Theo, and by extension Beau. As she left the store that night, Diane felt a pang of guilt, but she pushed it aside. No one will ever know, she thought. And I'm just doing what any mother would do, But secrets don't stay hidden in Hollyoaks for long. The next day, the gossip had spread like wildfire. Theo had an alibi, but the CCTV footage was inexplicably missing. People began to speculate. Sam Chen Williams, ever the tenacious investigator, had noticed Diane's unusual behavior and started asking questions. Diane's hands shook every time Sam looked her way, her instincts razor sharp, like she could see right through the lie Diane was desperately trying to keep buried. Then, as Diane was heading home one evening, she found herself cornered by Sam. Her heart hammered as she noticed the determined look in Sam's eyes, a look that told her Sam wasn't about to back down. "We need to talk," Sam said, crossing her arms. Diane tried to keep her voice steady, but a flicker of anxiety betrayed her. About what? Diane asked, feigning innocence. Don't play games with me, Diane. I know you had something to do with the missing footage at Price Slice. I've seen the timestamps. You were in there when it went missing. Diane's face paled, but she quickly tried to regain her composure. Sam, I was just shopping. You know me, I wouldn't do anything like that. Sam's eyes narrowed. Cut the act, Diane. I know you're trying to protect Beau. I get it. But that footage was the only thing that could have proven Theo's innocence or guilt. Now we have nothing to go on, and my family's being dragged through the mud over this. Diane felt her resolve cracking. She wanted to defend herself, to explain that she'd only done it to protect her family, but the words felt hollow. Deep down, she knew she crossed a line. Her heart ached as she imagined the fallout that could come from admitting what she'd done. Would Beau forgive her? Could her husband Tony? Taking a shaky breath, Diane decided to go all in with the lie. She couldn't back down now. Sam, you have to believe me. I had nothing to do with that footage disappearing. It's just a coincidence I was there that night. I would never jeopardize an investigation like that. But as the words left her mouth, she could feel the weight of the lie settling over her, suffocating and unyielding. Sam's gaze didn't waver. If anything, it sharpened, as if she just confirmed her suspicions. But Sam knew she couldn't confront Diane with only suspicion, not yet. As Sam walked away, Diane let out a sigh of relief, but it was short-lived. The weight of what she'd done was building, and she could feel it pressing down on her, tightening its grip every day. That night, Diane couldn't sleep. She lay awake, staring at the ceiling, the darkness around her mirroring the turmoil in her mind. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the disappointed faces of her family, heard their voices asking why she'd let it go this far. The next day, Diane decided to put on her best mask, to act as if nothing was wrong. But as she went about her day, the villagers' glances seemed sharper, more probing. Rumors began circulating, and Diane could feel the whispers brushing against her every time she passed by. By the week's end, the pressure became too much. The lie had poisoned her life, creeping into her relationships, infecting her interactions with everyone around her. Beau had noticed her anxiety, asking if she was okay. Tony was quieter than usual, watching her with a puzzled expression that made her stomach turn with guilt. Finally, one evening, Diane sat down with Tony. She took a deep breath, ready to let it all out. Tony, I have something to tell you. But just as she began to speak, a knock on the door interrupted them. Standing there was Sam, a knowing look in her eyes. Diane, I think it's time we had a real conversation, Sam said. And in that moment, Diane knew her world was about to crumble. The lie that Diane thought she could control had spiraled beyond her reach. Now the consequences loomed large, waiting to pull her life into chaos. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Hollyoaks Update YouTube channel for more update news.